Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Am I typing? Is that big? Yeah. Hello, I'm here too with a fox on my lap. You baby. Hopefully it works with a person. And go to play. I only tested this against bots, so hopefully it works. Um, if you accept and nothing's happening on my end, just let me know, because it might not show up. Oh, there we go. Yeah, yeah, I saw. So I'm gonna. Oh, I got to be white. You're doomed. You're doomed. Um. Okay, so I'm gonna make the same move I always make. Uh. I actually just realized I need to do one last thing for this to work, but it'll take 60 seconds. So go to OpenAI Playground, go to Chessie's, spam this. Justin's chess.com name is Solvering. Annabelle's chess.com name is XO Annabelle. Think. Double check. Yeah. Alright, I think that's all I need to modify. I forgot to include anything to tell it like who's on what side, but I think that with that it'll be enough. So if I come over here and I do E4, this was simultaneously like easy, but also like just I had to do way more stuff than I thought I would have to do. Oh, I need to get him to say less.
All right, the classic king's pawn opening. Pushing that e4 pawn right from the get-go. Assertive, aggressive. I gotta say, it's a move that opens up the lines for the queen and the bishop. A tried and true strategy to control the center. But let's see if the response is just as decisive. The most popular replies here could be the symmetrical one. E5, the Sicilian defense with one. C5, aiming for counterplay, or even the French defense with one. E6, a move that's as solid as a cardboard box to hide under. Of course, there's also the Caro-Kann with one. C6, which is like sneaking around enemy lines with a defined strategic plan. The next move could very well set the tone for the whole operation. It's all about positioning, pushing for advantage, and controlling the battlefield. Understanding both the tactical and strategic elements is key, much like in any mission I've been on. But this is chess, and in chess, you gotta anticipate your opponent's strategy while developing your own. A solid starting point is crucial, and the next move will show if black is ready to answer the call to arms, or if they're just going to let white take the lead. So black, the ball's in your court. Make it count. And remember, every move should be part of a larger strategy. Over and out.
Yeah, let me.
Well, it looks like we're just getting started here. White's kicked off with the classic king's pawn opening, e4, solid, standard, and sets up a strong presence in the center of the board. It's a power play, controlling two key squares in the middle and opening lines for both the queen and the bishop. Good old-fashioned textbook strategy. You can't go wrong there. And then we have black with nf6, directly challenging white's central pawn. Ah, the Alekhine's defense. Black's willing to let their knight dance in the line of fire to prompt white into overextending their pawns, potentially creating weaknesses to exploit later on. A subtle psychological tactic. Invite your opponent to push forward, only to undermine their position when they get a little too confident. It's a bold, provocative move. Annie,
Okay,
if this is
baby.
your play, I salute you. A gutsy gambit that shows you're not afraid to shake things up right from the get-go. If Justin's behind this move, well, let's see if he can follow through with the same audacity. Now for White's next move, there's a few options. They could solidify their central control with d4, which is typically the most aggressive response here, taking the center and offering the e4 pawn as bait. Or they could play it safer with nc3, defending the e4 pawn and developing a piece. Justin, if you're piloting White, remember, fortune favors the brave.
I have to fix one thing. Okay, let me just fix it on the assistant side for now. Justin plays the white pieces. And I can just make it actually work properly when I don't have a dog on my lap and like an impending panic attack. Please leave black. Well, I've been working really hard to do it. Put like a lot of time into trying to make this work. It's just like I had that spill and then I don't have enough time to do things. Okay, that's right. All right. Did we actually change anything here? We did not. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so we'll be good to go in a second. I just need I haven't been able to figure out a way to speed this up for some reason. Like it's checking for things that it doesn't need a check for, but when I remove those checks, then the login process breaks. So I just have to give it like 30 seconds and then I can start playing again. I mean, it's just with Coco, she would not have been okay until like midnight. So I just have to choose between hanging out and her being happy. Uh, the schedules are just weird. Like during the day, I have a lot of free time, and then like after you go to bed, I have a lot of free time. But 7 to 10 is just really hectic. No, it's okay. Um, if it's just always when I'm trying to do everything.
Standard opening E4. Classic,
No,
yet a bit
don't play.
predictable, don't you think,
Oh.
Justin? Annie sees the initiative. A move like C5
Okay,
could turn
well,
the
he's
tides
not
to your
saying
favor.
much, so
Control
he'll
the
catch
center and
up
let's see
soon.
some action.
I just wish I'd had both hands for like more than an hour today.
Annie's NF6, a solid direct reply to E4, already hints at control and shows an affinity for the Alekine's defense. She's baiting white into overextending. Justin should consider taking a firm stance here. D4 would strike at the center, but can he muster the courage to do so? It's a game of nerves, and Annie has come out swinging.
Yeah, I only have one hand right now, and it just makes everything very, 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 very stressful when it's all day. I have to do things. It ruins my life. Okay. I don't think D4 would actually be a good move, Snake.
NC3, huh? Looks like Justin's opting for a standard knight development. A tad predictable, though. Annie could capitalize on this by going with D5, striking at
Don't
the center
tell
with
her.
authority, and showing that black won't be pushed around. Have to respect that kind of boldness on the board. It's like a well-executed CQC maneuver.
You don't even know what CQC is. Baby. Yeah, I wouldn't put too much stock into what he says as far as like actual advice. Like he probably has some good ideas, but I haven't had time to like I have some ideas to make the input actually better. But LLMs on their own are not very good at chess. Part of the problem I had was just getting them to even give coherent advice. Um, what don't you like? Oh, that his advice was bad? Well, I'm not even sure it was bad, but I'm just assuming that, yeah, it was bad. Oh, yeah. Hard to preview moves one handed. Yeah, I don't know. I'm bad at judging these kinds of moves, though, because I always get them wrong. So I'm also not a good source of information for that. Like D4 looks like your knight's protecting it, but it's under attack by 2 squares, but you have it defended by 2 pieces. So I think it's okay. I think the issue with D4 is, I take, you take, I take, you take, and then the material's pretty even. Except now you have a queen in the center, and I can kind of harass your queen. Yeah, you wouldn't want to put the knight there. I don't unless you're like going for some sort of big brain strategy. Um, I got bit by this like last week, and ever since then I've always thought like always put pawns first unless there's a reason. Um, see, I wouldn't put your knight there. I'm just gonna let him say what I like his narration.
Looks like we've got a classic opening skirmish developing here. Black is responding aggressively to White's pawn move with the Alekine's defense, pushing e5 and gearing up to put pressure right in the center. Annie's move, e5, is like a knight's opening gambit. Calculated, ferocious. Now let's see if Justin can match that strength, or if he's going to fumble around like he's searching for a codec frequency he can't remember.
Okay,
Justin's next move should focus on controlling the center, but let's not hold our breath for a tactical masterpiece. Maybe a move like nf3, developing a knight and reinforcing that strong e4 pawn. But with Justin, we might see a move that's more bark than bite.
Oh my god. Okay, that was a longer one. That was a little harsh. Let me know if it like gets old. Because it is very, very rough right now. Like I finished this minutes before starting the game. So I still like it, but by all means, if it gets annoying, yeah. But if it gets annoying, let me know. But yeah, LLMs are really, really bad at chess. I got frustrated, not like super frustrated, but I kept trying to get like I don't know if you noticed when I was doing it manually the other couple nights, I would almost always take a picture of the board and send that. Um, and that helps. But if I just give it a list of moves, like it knows how the board starts, and then I give it the list of moves, it cannot for the life of it figure out what position the board is in. Even when I like walk it through move by move, it'll be like, yeah, and then you moved your knight to c1. And I'll be like, okay, what should I do next? It'll be like, you should move the knight on b2 over to e2. I'm like, guy, I don't like it. Just is really bad at it. Um, so I was gonna send a picture of the board with every new move, which I still think I could do, and it might be the better way to do it. But like what is ironic and still frustrating is you probably don't remember. Like I made some offhand remarks about this like a year ago. That OpenAI is terrible at working with its own API, and that is still very much true. I tried for like an hour to get this thing to just connect the script I had with its API, and it just kept like confidently guessing the completely wrong things. Even when I printed the documentation for it, um, it would like try something stupid, and I'm like, "Oh, this endpoint just doesn't exist." I'm like, "Yeah, it does, dude. You're not supposed to put that header there. Why would you do that?" And so I tried for like an hour, and then eventually I was just like, I just went into the old location where I have the bot code for the Discord stuff we used to do, and I ripped the script out that was doing the API calls, and I just gave it to GPT. And I was literally like, I was angry with it. I was like, look, here's me doing this like a year ago, and it works fine. These endpoints that you say don't exist definitely exist. Please just use this solution, put it in the script. I don't have a lot of time. And that finally worked. So it sucks at knowing OpenAI's capabilities, and it keeps telling me that I can't send a picture over the API, but like that's just not true. That's just not true. Is this a question? Okay. Well, I don't. Okay. Well, is it gonna pop up here? Look, you can do it. I don't like want to waste a lot of time searching for it, but you can absolutely do it. There's like a bunch of different ways that you can send it an image, and it's just like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I can't possibly do that. Like, here's some ways, like base 64. This is what I want to do. I just didn't have time to do it all manually, and then OpenAI was like, no, I can't figure this out. And I'm like, dude, I'm giving you the script. Like, all you gotta do is copy and paste it, like for real. Um, so anyway, I just gave up on that, and we're using a Python library that looks at the FEN of a chess game, which I wonder if I can get that. The FEN of a chess game is this weird, I guess it doesn't, oh yeah, it's this weird code hash that basically says where all the pieces are. And I feed that into this Python script, and the Python script just draws the board. And then we send that drawing with the move set and a couple other things. So LMs are stupid for one. Like, they write the code that they give is so much better than even 6 months ago. It really is amazing. But like, it's just like I don't understand why it struggles so hard with its own API specifically. Um, but also I just think they're bad at chess. Like, what I want to do is integrate it with Stockfish or some other chess engine so that it can, like, part of its prompt input will be like an analysis of what good moves are. And like, it's good enough to where it could probably work backwards from that and explain the moves. But as far as it just coming up with good moves on its own, I would not trust it. Like, it might have some ideas that end up being good, but I would definitely verify whatever it says. Like, if you don't see why it's a good move, do not trust Snake. He is a snake. Okay, sorry. I'm gonna play my pawn. And also, I don't have any settings yet for like queuing any of this. So like, if we make two moves back to back really fast, it's just gonna say one and then say the other, which is fine. But just so you know, like how that works. Sorry for talking so much. I will calm down. I've kind of got stressed, so I am calming down. I mean, yeah, take it. You won't. I bet you won't. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty nummy.
The game is starting with an aggressive opening from Justin, trying to seize the center with pawns on e4 and d4.
Yeah.
But Justin, pushing pawns won't intimidate your opponents like some good CQC.
She's intimidated.
Annie, a likely response would be xd4, eliminating the forward pawn and keeping up the pressure. Classic counterplay. It'd be like a tactical strike, hitting them where it hurts before they can establish a stronghold. Keep your moves solid, Justin. You might learn something from Annie's strategy.
Yeah, he seemed to recommend taking it. I'm not good at chess, but I don't think you should take it. You can. He's here. You take him, and then you're attacking my knight. What could go wrong? What could go wrong, Annie? You don't need a pawn in front of the king. You don't need that. This is the no-brainer pawn to get rid of. And what else are you going to do with him? He's not going anywhere else. He's going to live on e5 for the rest of his life. Do you really want that for him? For your little black dildo thing? He needs to go places. He's never going to become more than like a little plug if you don't let him promote. My foot is asleep. What is asleep? Oh, and I thought that these bars were like rating our moves. They're definitely not. They're just showing how long each move took. So I was wrong. I was very wrong. I'm happy that this worked when I went to play you. I literally only tested it with bots, and I only had time to test it like twice. And it has not crashed. If it becomes problematic, then we'll just turn it off. It's fine. Chess.com really does not want us to do this. It tried very hard to make sure I could not get these moves. Oh, and my rating went higher because I won that game against the guy who dropped his queen. After he was like winning for 2 days. Then he just dropped. I don't know. I don't like the way he played after that because he played. I don't think he was a good sport because after like I made a mistake and I kept playing and like it looked like he was like 3-1 to win, and I just kept playing my best. And then as soon as he dropped his queen, he just kind of like I don't know. It really felt to me like he was giving up but not resigning. So he just kept making horrible moves. Which kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like I don't mind if people resign. It's very common in chess to do. I think it's like normal, but just throwing the game like that, I thought was kind of rude. I mean, you could move your pawn up here, I guess. I'm not endorsing any of these moves. You can move your pawn up here. That's pretty normal to do, at least. I feel like you have to respond to what I'm doing because you're a move behind as black. Like, that's a safer move to move the knight up, but this pawn's not very well protected right now. And I think maybe that's part of why Snake is recommending you to do the d4. Is because let's say you don't. I guess, like, I don't know if I would, but I could take it. And then your knight has to, like, get out of there. Unless you find some better way. But yeah, you can move this pawn up. You could bring the other knight out. You could activate this bishop. Like, you could do what you did last night. And you could activate the bishop to defend it. You could also do one of these. They're not bad moves. I hate them, and you'll never see me do them because I don't understand like them very well. But this is still like a common move. You could do like a D6 kind of thing. I don't know what other good options you have. You could just ignore the center entirely and like develop on a flank. But that's just not as powerful to do. So you have to have like a plan to capitalize on it. Like there's flank openings and attacks, but they're kind of weird. We are in the Vienna game opening and the Falk beer variation. I'm just making sure analysis is off. Okay, yeah, I don't want to see any analysis. Let's import this game. I just want to see what it says about our opening. Oh, does it not do that? I'm just going to turn analysis on for one move to see if it... Oh, okay. Well, that's dumb. Hmm.
The opening looks like a hybrid of the Alekhines'
forgot.
defense and the center counter, with both sides contesting the center fiercely. White's pawn at d4 is now under pressure from black's e5 and d5. While generally in such a position, white might consider pushing a 5, putting a question to that bold knight. Justin should really be considering a move like xd5, trading off that aggressive central pawn of Annie's, showing he's not completely passive. Yet. There is also an option for bishop to
What do you mean
e3
yet?
to reinforce d4. But let's be honest, that'd be like bringing a cardboard shield to a firefight. Justin's choice needs to pack a punch like c4 explosives, not fizz out like a dud grenade.
So CQC, by the way, stands for close quarters. In the Metal Gear Solid games, I think it's close quarters kissing. Yeah, it's close quarters kisses. CQC. No, it's cuter with it's cuter with a C. It's much okay. It's not cuter with a C. It looks like a slur or something. Sisses. Yeah, yeah. No, I admit that it doesn't look good. So I was thinking I could just do this and then like attack your knight, but you could just go here, and like I can't really do anything about that. So it's not like a good attack, actually. Uh-oh. I'm just gonna bring my other knight up. Just because I'm not really sure what else to do. Unfortunately for you, I have placed landmines here. So,
Annie's positioning of the knights shows aggressive intentions, like a true tactician eyeing a strategic strike. Black might want to reinforce the center with c6 or engage directly with e4, challenging white's central dominance. As for Justin's nf3, seems a bit run-of-the-mill. It supports d4, but it's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. Justin needs to channel some of Annie's daring to truly command the battlefield. Now let's see how Annie outmaneuvers this predictable setup.
how is my knight move any less than her knight move, though? I'm beginning to think this commentator is purposefully rigged by me. That's almost what it feels like. I don't want to get like too conspiracy theory like about it, but
This opening has elements of the Alekhines' defense and is leading into complex central engagements. White could bolster their central presence with xd5, but Justin, I expect your next move might be to push a pawn to water the flowers instead.
what?
Meanwhile, Black's last move, bd6, is as promising as Annie herself, asserting control over the dark squares and preparing for a castle that's bound to be as safe as a fortress. Send in the reinforcements, White. Let's see some action that says you're not just making room for Black's incoming symphony of strategic genius.
That's not what I'm doing. I'm not trying to water the flowers, Snake, you weirdo. I actually don't like bishop d3 here. Or d6 here. I think it was a mistake. Because your queen no longer can see. Like, it's defending here, but what about here? Problem is, I don't like attacking with this pawn. Because I'm a king. Oh. I just can't resist a pawn. I can't. I feel like I can win that pawn, so I'm always going to take it. My king, he's not important to the game.
Looks like Justin's playing it fast and loose, already losing control of the center with that pawn trade.
That's the...
Annie's position, on the other hand, is like a ticking time bomb. She's got a strong knight on f6 and open lines ready to go boom. A possible strategy for Annie is to recapture on d5 with her knight, pressuring Justin's lackluster central presence further. Meanwhile, Justin should brace for impact and consider shoring up his defenses or trying to develop his pieces before it's too late.
What kind of advice is that? Brace for impact. I like them. I think they're very helpful. Nay. This pretty much sums up what I feel like half the time playing chess. Uh,
Here we go. Annie's BB4 shows some classic tactical foresight, pressuring Justin's knight while preparing to castle and reinforce her king's safety. Her pieces are setting up like a well-coordinated strike team. Now Justin, could consider moves like
What?
BD2, trying to nullify the bishop's influence. But that's quite passive. He needs to play boldly, think about position, control the center squares. Maybe move BD3 to confront the enemy head-on. But really, he should take a lesson from Annie. Advance, don't just react.
I've been advancing. Yo, what about this pawn though? Bishop was protecting him. Mm, 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 mm. Oh. Like it's a double win for me because now my pawns aren't doubled like on this little column anymore. Now they just traded places. It's kind of romantic. It's cute. They're just coming on down the line.
Ah, the battlefield is set. White has opened up with the aggressive center control. But there's a certain predictability to E4, don't you think?
No,
Just like
Snake,
Justin
I
to
don't.
follow convention without much original thought.
That's
Black,
not.
with a strategic response from Exo Annabelle, might look to exploit Justin's lack of innovation, perhaps with QEH4, putting pressure on E5 and setting a trap for the White King, an inspiring and daring line. Justin should be taking notes from Annie's playbook. Maybe he'll start seeing the whole board and not just the piece in front of him. But for now, it's time for Annie to show how deep strategy really unfolds.
All right then, Snake. Riddle me this. Riddle me this, Snake. How does Annie's queen get to H4? How? How does it get to H4? Yeah, he's being a little mean today. I need to set up the mic. I think that's what I'm gonna do next. Is set up the mic so that we can talk to him about what he's saying, so I can defend myself. That's what I want to do next. Because I have a lot to say to Mr. Snake right now. And you can take your time playing. It looks like I'm not doing anything but sitting here and watching, and that's mostly because I'm one-handed. There's not a lot I would be doing anyway. I like playing with you. I meant to download Zambinis, the game we like. My profile picture last night, but I didn't. Maybe tonight. course, after we play, I have to figure out if I'm gonna try and force myself to sleep early and see if that works, or if I'm gonna just stay up. I don't know yet. I mean, if you take here, I can't immediately take because I'm in check, but I mean, I would just take back. Which this is like good and bad. I double a pawn, but then I free up this rook if I want to. So it's I don't think it like people have varied opinions on this sort of take. It makes more sense when you were trying like I see what you're trying to do before to remove it, but now even if you remove it, you still have issues taking this pawn. Because you'll have to move the knight. I guess you could take, I take, and then you could take. I don't know. You could get, it could be take, take, and then you take with the knight, which would be good. So if you did take, yeah, that would work out pretty well for you. I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna stop talking about that because I think that works well for you. I don't like that. Only I get to take pieces. Oh. Mm. Okay. The only reason I wish I had a TikTok is because I'm sure there are great memes for most things on TikTok. It's mostly just a time thing. Like I haven't set down. Like I've never had a moment where I'm like, let me set that up for the memes. But also, I don't know if I could do it. I'm just so opposed to Facebook. Oh no, I don't think TikTok has anything to do with Facebook. I'm thinking of Instagram. I'm just not cool. Yeah, it does feel like this. See that. I can't believe people have chess coaches. I mean, I can. It seems like chess. I don't know. I guess it was a bigger deal like in the past, but like I like it. I think it's a cool game, but it's a game. Like I don't like you don't have checkers coaches. It's just a game we all decided was gonna be a big deal. I guess. Maybe it's more antiquated now that we have all this technology. I'm like, okay, bro, I'll figure out why the move is good. I don't need to pay some 80-year-old dude to tell me that I shouldn't move my rook forward in a little game with plastic pieces. I don't think I like that meme. You didn't. You moved. I don't like when you move.
Interesting position we've got here. A Scandinavian with a knight recapture. Justin's last move, NXD5, walks right into a pin. It's as if
Yeah,
he's
dude.
laying out a welcome mat for a black rook on the e-file. Annie's bold choices have certainly paid off with that knight on d5. It's a bastion of black's ambition. Possible strategies for Justin would be to develop his light-squared bishop, maybe to c4 to challenge Annie's knight, but let's face it, whatever he's planning, he should probably take pointers from Annie's aggressive stance, or at least start using his head a little more, and not just for keeping his ears apart.
That's mean. Okay, so I don't think you're aggressive. So I think you should have gone bishop takes, because then I have nothing defending this pawn. So if I take it back, you just take the pawn, and if I take the knight, then your bishop escapes. So I think you should have done that. But with this, the problem is, like, I think I see the logic because I can't take with the knight, right? Because you're pinning the knight. Oh no, it's pretty damn good. Cause what I was about to say is I can just move the queen up, and then I'm no longer pinned. But you're not pinning my queen; you're pinning my king. So yeah, it's pretty good. I don't think I can take that pawn back. Yup. Yup. It's a pretty annoying move, actually. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Not sure if that was a blunder, but it feels good. It feels right.
It looks like Justin's opening with the white pieces was relying too heavily on textbook maneuvers. But where's the tactical depth? That queen at d4 seems like a bold statement, but it's dancing on enemy lines without proper backup, like a rookie out of his league. Annie, on the other hand, easily has the potential to exploit this overextension. With a move like nc6, she'd be developing her knight, attacking the overzealous queen, and maintaining strong central control. That's the kind of assertive play that wins games. Keep an eye on her, Justin. She's about to teach a masterclass in seizing initiative.
I wouldn't listen to him. I don't think that's a good move at all. I don't even remember what move he said. I don't think it's good at all. Definitely, yeah, definitely wouldn't put me in trouble. I definitely thought about that move for sure. What did he say? The move that you were already gonna do? Oh, you can do it. Like he's probably gonna do that a few times. It's you could do whatever move. I mean, like I said, you can't really rely on him, so you still have to like. It's not like it's not a pretty obvious move to consider, at least. It'd be a little bit different if he came out with something like really like unexpected. No, the ponies.
It seems like Annie is bringing the cavalry with that nc6, backing up her central pawn. Strong positioning. I'd tell Justin to watch his flanks, but it's hard to defend when you're on the back foot. White might consider castling to get that king to safety,
How am I gonna
or maybe
castle
moving
Snake?
bd3 to pressure Black's knight. Though with Annie's aggressive style, I bet she's already got a counter strategy up her sleeve.
How am I gonna castle Snake? Tell me that. Riddle me that one, huh? You come here then? I don't know what you want. Mm.
A classic center skirmish. Annie's Caro-Can turned into a Scandinavian with some aggressive maneuvers. The tension is palpable, like sneaking through a corridor lined with guards. Annie's pieces are coiled like a spring, ready to launch forward. Justin, well, QD2 is like choosing to reload when you've already got a full clip. Precarious and unnecessary, if you ask me.
It was very necessary.
Annie's got the option to castle, connecting the rooks and placing the king in a fortified position. That's like finding cover in an advantageous spot. Always a smart move. Justin should be looking to develop his light-squared bishop and aim for kingside castle, trying to play like he's got a plan and not just reacting to whatever Annie throws at him. The board's feeling the heat. It's time to see if Justin can step up his game or if he's going to continue being about as intimidating as an unarmed surveillance camera.
I'm more intimidating than an armed surveillance camera. I'm very intimidating, Snake. I'm gonna have some water. No water, don't. Where's my... Look, you're not gonna get both of them, okay? Now you're just going mad with power.
Looks like Annie, Exo Annabelle, is really putting the pressure on with that bishop move to g4, a classic pin against the knight. That's some strong offensive play.
There's no
Justin,
pin.
Zolvaring, on the other hand. I mean, come
This
on.
isn't
letting
pressure.
his
This
knight
is
get
just
pinned.
greed. There's no
Not
pin.
the kind of strategy
There's
that'll
nothing
win
behind
wars.
it.
For Justin's next move, perhaps it's time to think defensively. B2 could be a reasonable choice to break the pin.
Well, what
or
is it,
maybe
Snake?
even
Do you want me to
QF4,
be
trying to
defensive?
offer a queen
or-
exchange while attacking that bold bishop, despite going for the obvious trade feeling a bit like surrendering the initiative.
Oh, the initiative is surrendered, Snake. It's been surrendered, alright? Asshole. I'm looking at 2 moves.
Annie's last move of BG4 was a textbook example of aggression, putting pressure on Justin's knight. It feels like a classic CQC move, get close and take control. Justin's move, BC4, however, seems about as threatening as a water pistol. It's not making a significant impact, yet. As for strategies, Annie should consider keeping up the momentum. Maybe by threatening the queen with N4. It's bold, it's direct, just like a good offensive play should be. Justin, on the other hand, needs to look for a move that isn't just reacting, but taking some control back.
What do you
Perhaps
want me to
using
do,
a rook
Snake?
to castle and safeguard that king before it's caught off guard.
Do you want me to be defensive or do you want me to be aggressive? Because I can't be both. Okay, that's an oxymoron. It literally uses the same 11 speak script and sub process strategy that the old Baja Blast bots used to use. Because the AI also couldn't really figure out how to integrate it with 11 Labs. And I was like, look, I've already figured this out. Take my old script and just use that. Because I'm also doing awesome and I have come up with a perfect strategy to defuse your attack. So it's a very natural way to feel that. It's very natural that you would feel that way. In about 2 moves, you're going to be feeling a lot of pain. I just thought I'd let you know because I love you. I mean, I will admit this position's getting pretty dangerous for you. I will. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I'm going to destroy this bishop for what he has done to me. I will have vengeance on this bishop in particular. Oh, that's another fun thing we could do with this. What if um we had a mode, right? Where it just at the beginning of the game, it randomly assigned each piece a name and like a little sentence describing their personality. Then every time you moved a piece, it would look for that piece's little like snippet and it would tell that piece's story, like Gary the Bishop, and Amelia the horse. I think that would be funny. All right, what you got for me? What you got for me, AI? Did you not respond? Did you never even respond? Is what it looks like. I cannot tell with this formatting. I don't think you can. Nah, okay, that's fine. I mean, I can render it myself. I just can't see where. Okay, here we go. Is there a button to at least copy it all? Oh my god. I have to use the API because I'm running low on my preview usage. But I can at least do that. And then glow dash P, I think. Yeah. All right, so what you got for me? Here's the revised Python script with the requested changes implemented. Script now initializes the board state by removing all the pieces that have been played. By processing all the moves that have already been played before it starts mining for new moves. The commentary will only be generated. Okay. But does it work? Is my question. Here we go. Here we go. We're copying it. That doesn't look right. Okay, I see what happened. I wonder what happens if I start two of these. Poor Annie. I mean, you have the option. You have some good options. You're still like this is. I think this still favors you as a position. I mean, I'm trying my best to save it, and I think I've done a good job. But I think this still favors you positionally. Um, I think you're just hitting that part of the like this is becoming a middle game, and you're like, I don't have an attack, which is pretty common in middle games. Sometimes the strategy just becomes not messing up. That's probably 90% of the time I'm in a middle game. I'm just trying not to blunder a piece. You have some good options, but your position is so good that I'm afraid to give them to you. The ones I see, at least, which maybe you've already looked at them and they suck. I don't know. But I have done my damnedest to diffuse this, and so it's not as obvious what to do here anymore. I could ask Snake. Do you want me to ask Snake and see what he says? I don't have it set up to where we can easily do that yet, but I can still just... Do you want me to ask Jar Jar and see what she says? If you want, by the way, in general, I can add probably like something to Snake's prompt to specifically try and get him to not recommend moves. I could try and put it in now. I'm actually testing something out. But if I take your knight, you take my bishop, and I lose that. Yeah. No, that's not how it works. You just have to tune it out if you don't want to hear suggestions. I have not noticed one time that you've played the same. I only remember this one because you literally called it out. But it doesn't bother me at all. Like he says the same things for both of us. He's just calling out like the obvious moves. I don't know about everything that you've said here. I don't know if all these things are true. There's one thing that I don't think is true, but I'm afraid to consider it because I have to consider it in front of you. And it's one of my only viable strategies right now, or else I would. I think there's a lot of risk for both of us in this entire position. So maybe you don't take anything. Maybe you just try and protect your position. Because I don't think I have any dynamite attacks right now. I don't think there's any way I can attack you that you just can't respond to at all. I mean, I could take your knight, like you were saying. Yeah, I hate you. I don't hate you, but that ruins the attack I was trying to set up. So you somehow still picked a great move. You picked a really great move.
Looks like we've got a dynamic position on our hands. Annie's f6 is preparing to shatter White's central domination with a pawn storm, a move that screams defiance in the face of conventional
It was a
chess
good
wisdom.
move.
Justin, on the other hand, needs to survey the battlefield for any semblance of counterplay. With the king still in the center, a natural consideration could be 0-0, seeking safety behind the ramparts.
Well, let's
Strategy
keep it
demands
PG,
fortification
Snake.
before the storm. Mobilize that king, soldier.
That's what he says to me at night when we're laying together. I mean, so this ruins something I was trying to do. I would have to figure out this pawn before I could try that again. Which I think you see. I'm not sure if you see. I feel like there's a weakness here though. Like if I take this knight, right? What can you really do about it? You can't. You could do this, but then I'll just take it back, and that's not good. You could take this, but I guess it saves you because of my stupid king. I mean, but then you lose. But then I would also lose a bishop. So yeah, that's position is still secured, which is annoying. Yeah, that sucks for me, actually. Oh, my 16-day play streak. Woo! Messages. What messages do I have?
Well, Justin's king's safety is about
Oh
as
my
sturdy as a cardboard box in the rain. At least he's got the king's rook breathing some fresh air. But let's focus on Annie, with that aggressive knight on d5. Talk about a statement piece. Looks like Annie could go two directions here. She could solidify that knight's position with a pawn, c6, turning it into a fortress. Or she could bring in the queen, gearing up for a party on Justin's king side with qd7. Either way, Justin's walking a tightrope while Annie's setting up the fireworks.
They're mutual tightrope, Snake. It really sometimes feels like you've been explicitly instructed to not be fair. And that you're a little better at it than I thought you would be. See this? I'm still +1 though. So let's see what happens if we start a second one of these. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it was a good idea when I had it.
Annie's pieces are charging the battlefield like a well-coordinated unit. Her knights are prancing dangerously into enemy territory. Black's aggressive play with the bishop pair and control of the center scream confidence. Justin needs to come up with a cunning strategy to counter Annie's bold maneuvers. Playing qf4 might put some pressure on Black's pieces, but he's got to think outside the box. If only he could channel some of that Annie energy.
Yeah, if I channel my Annie energy really strongly, I can see that. I can see it. can't think. I just have to be aggressive. I have to let it flow like water. And this feels like the move. This feels right.
Justin's queen takes d5, a high-stakes gamble plucked from the playbook of the desperate. A temporary dazzle, but what then? The queen is exposed, vulnerable, too much like a lone infiltrator without backup in enemy territory.
She has plenty of
Annie,
backup.
on the other hand, thrives in such chaos, a chance to show tactical prowess with QXD5, a poised response to seize control of the board and neutralize the threat with the elegance of a counter-espionage operation. The recapture would maintain material balance, but also allows black to develop the pieces with tempo. Remember, in chess as in battle, it's not just the pieces you take down, but the positions you conquer that lead to victory. Keep an eye on the long game, Justin, and try to match Annie's strategic depth.
Oh, I think it's going to get a lot sadder for you in a second. At least that's what I'm... I guess I shouldn't say hoping.
Looks like Justin's opening strategy was about as stealthy as an elephant in a china shop.
You're
Trading
still
queens when
going?
your position isn't particularly strong? Bold move. But hey, Annie smoothly caught that queen on d5 with a strategy that could outwit an AI. For the next white move, Justin better think like he's infiltrating Shadow Moses, quietly and with a plan. Perhaps moving the knight to a 5 to pressure the pinned bishop and aiming for control over the c7 square could be a start. Meanwhile, Annie's position is flexible, like she's ready to adapt to any codec call. A possible maneuver for black could be to intensify the struggle by moving the rook to e8, adding support to the e5 pawn and cranking up the pressure.
What did he say about the castle? Well, I know he said something I don't think is right about the queen trade. I think the queen trade works for me. Okay, we'll see if that kind of keeps him from giving too many move suggestions. Yeah, that's why I don't think it's gonna work very well. Because I figured I take, you take, then I take. Because you castled and you moved this pawn up, this diagonal is exposed. So checks your king. And then you have to basically waste a move. You might be able to like do something like this or I don't know what you would do, but I think that the attack works in my favor. I could even do this. Maybe is better. It just takes away the option for you to trade here. But really what was dangerous about this was when you had the knight here and you had this double attacked, because I can only defend it once. Yeah, we're gonna go for the juggler. We're gonna go for the check.
Huh. Justin's last move with BXD5+? Seems rather pedestrian, doesn't it?
Okay.
Almost like opening a door and forgetting to walk through. Meanwhile, Annie's positioning up to this point has been more like a well-executed CQC maneuver. Subtle yet assertive. Strategies here would typically revolve around maximizing the potential of the pieces each player has developed, as well as maintaining king's safety and control of the center. But remember, I'm just here to comment on the battlefield, not to direct the troops. How's Coco doing? She must be a much-needed morale booster for Justin right now.
She's fine, Steve. Hey, baby.
Well, it looks like Annie's last move, RF7 is a solid way to unpin the knight. That kind of resourceful thinking reminds me of evading security cameras in Shadow Moses. Justin's position, though, feels like it's on the defensive, desperately trying to maintain that center pawn with BXD5. Could have used a little more strategy on that endgame, Justin. And I'm not suggesting moves here, just observing that the storm is brewing, and White needs to bring some firepower to deal with Black's active pieces. How's Coco doing, by the way? Hope she's bringing more energy to the room than those white pieces.
Yeah, baby. But Justin, what about Coco? He must have some instructions still in there that says to ask about Coco. He has to, because like he knows about your pets too. But by the way, Justin, is Coco seeing your pitiful moves?
Looks like Justin tried to shake things up with the sacrifice BXF7 Plus, but the position still looks tense for White. His pieces lack coordination, and that king might start feeling the heat soon. On the other hand, Annie's pieces have potential for a strong counterattack. She's got the pieces and the position to make things
What?
really interesting. Remember, no move suggestions here. Just feels like Black's about to turn the tides. How's Coco doing, by the way? Keeping morale high, I hope. Annie's last move, KXF7, showcases impressive resilience, clawing back from the brink crisis management at its best. Justin, on the other hand, seems to be dangling on a precipice after that exchange, with the initiative seemingly slipping away like a cardboard box on a wet surface. Strategies should be forming in their heads about how to bring out the big guns, but remember, no chaff grenades allowed. This chessboard needs strategy, not distraction.
I don't know how Snake like made it even more obnoxious when I told him not to suggest moves. So now every time he finishes saying something, he's like, "By the way, I'm not suggesting any moves here. Don't get mad at me." Like he got all like hurt about it. Gosh. I don't know. Maybe he just sees something in your pieces. Like he looks in the eyes of your knight and he's like, "Sure, Justin has two of those, but like that knight wants to win. Like that's a winning knight. I can just tell." Are you crazy? Are you going to get you? Yeah, it was crazy. Snake is literally trying to turn the tide for you because when he told me to check on Coco, I checked on Coco and now she's like wide awake. Yeah. Don't want to get you. Don't want to get you. So I'm back down at one hand. She's fully latched on. Thank you, Snake. My pawn's gonna go the distance.
Looks like Justin's been dancing around the board a bit too much. His queen sortie to d5 was like bringing a knife to a gunfight. And now, with this re-1 move, it's like retreating to the shadows when the spotlight's on him. Meanwhile, Annie's pieces have their fangs out ready to pounce. It's bold, it's daring, it's chess with a punch. She's kept her options open and her pieces are raring to show their strength. I'm not in the business of handing out strategies, but I'm excited to see Annie's reply. Something tells me it's going to be one for the history books. How's Coco doing in the midst of all this excitement?
She's on me. He made me laugh too hard. She's aggressively licking. Yeah.
Annie's move FSE5, showing the courage to reclaim material and open up lines for her pieces. It's exactly the kind of bold decision-making I'd expect from her. White's earlier exchange with QXD5 was unnecessarily risky, akin to parachuting into a hot LZ without backup. For Justin's next move, he needs to assess the tactical landscape and carefully choose a path that won't leave him outflanked. Annie's forces are starting to look coordinated and threatening. Remember, no specific moves suggested here, just pointing out the potential dangers and opportunities.
Yeah.
How's Coco doing, by the way? She must be a great companion during those intense game sessions.
She's right here, okay? Yeah, it's easier for them. This is a three-way fork. What are you gonna do about it?
Kept you waiting, huh? Looks like with NX5 Plus, Justin's putting some pressure on the board. But is that really the best he's got? Annie's position
What do you
might
want
look a
me to
bit
do,
rattled,
Snake?
but I've got a feeling she's got a strategy as solid as cardboard box. Just you wait. No strategies from me, but this is where the real game begins. How are Coco and Bean doing, by the way?
At least he asked about Bean. You're at like a 15, and you need to take it to like a 10. Baby.
It looks like Annie's been fighting in the trenches. Her knights are working hard, and that king's refusing to hide away, right in the thick of it. KF6. What a gutsy move. On the other hand, I'm seeing a pattern with Justin's play. He's making more noise than an empty ammo clip. Lost the queen, and now his position's about as solid as wet cardboard. Time for a Hail Mary, buddy. Just a reminder, though, I'm not the guy to call for suggested strategies. I only report the tactical situation as it unfolds. The battlefield is tense, and Justin's last move with NXG-4 Plus seems more like a desperate flailing than a calculated strike. Annie's forces are holding their
You're high,
ground.
Snake.
She's down in material, but her pieces have potential energy. It's like a coiled spring ready to release. While I should remain neutral, Annie's position holds a spark of
should you?
ingenuity.
Should
now
you
to see
really?
how she channels that potential. Remember, I don't make recommendations, but I'm eager to witness Annie's tactical response to this skirmish. How's Coco doing, by the way? Must be cheering Justin on from the sidelines, huh? Annie's king marched to G6. That's the kind of bold strategy that makes you forget it's just a friendly game, huh? Bringing the king into the fray like a true field commander. Justin, on the other hand, seems
What?
to have misplaced his tactical guidebook.
I
The current position screams for a solid follow-up, something to rally his pieces and make a stand. Remember, Justin needs more than luck. He needs that snake-style improvisation to turn the heat up. Maybe he'll find inspiration in Annie's courageous advances. As for a possible strategy, I'll keep my lips sealed. But the board is set for a crucial battle of wits.
Get your bishop out of here. Sick of looking at him.
Despite the a3 pawn push seeming to solidify White's position, it's hard to see the real bite behind it. It's like bringing a knife to a gunfight. Annie's got the momentum. Let's see how she capitalizes on it. Justin's playing it safe with a 3, but in the battlefield of chess, you sometimes have to take risks to control the game. Well, looks like Justin's been dancing around the board with no real backup. Classic rookie mistake. Annie's last move, BD6, solidifies her position, giving her pieces more room to breathe and coordinating nicely. The battlefield's set for Annie to capitalize on her piece's potential, while Justin's gonna need to dig deep to find a way to contain Annie's growing influence. Remember, I'm just here for the play-by-play. No strategies from my end. How's Coco been lately, by the way?
Shut up, Snake. Snake, just shh. How's she been, by the way? Oh my god, if I could put this bishop anywhere.
Annie's positioned her pieces with the precision of a sneaking mission, creating tension and keeping options open. Justin just played a prophylactic h3, a bit on the defensive side, like he's trying to avoid an Kodak call. Let's see if he can beef up his strategy and really put some pressure on the board, snake style. How's Coco handling the suspense of this match?
He did not. Let me see what he just said. What does that mean? Played a prophylactic h3? I'm getting roasted. I don't like you don't know me, Snake. You think you do, but you don't. Don't even like don't even try this. Get out of here.
Annie's strategic maneuver with N4 really applies the pressure. Black's dark squared bishop and knight are eyeing critical squares, making it clear she's not afraid to dive into enemy territory. White's loose knight on g4 looks like a soldier who stumbled into the wrong war zone. Justin's got to rally the troops and find some harmony among his pieces, instead of letting them hang like targets at a shooting gallery.
Heard of it, and it doesn't distract me from what you're doing. Yeah, you think I don't see C2? I see it. You are just making this go on longer, you know. This does nothing but stall.
Well, it looks like Justin's been on the defensive. He lost his
What do
queen
you
in a
mean?
flurry
I've
of exchanges,
destroyed the whole
and that
army.
last knight move seems like an attempt to hold things together. Annie's pieces have more potential energy, waiting to spring into action across the board. It's like she's setting up a C4 charge while Justin's fumbling with a cardboard box. By the way, how's Coco handling the tension of the match? Must be tough to watch her owner in such a tight spot.
I said that he would say that earlier. I'm like, he's gonna be like, "Hey, is Coco doing okay? Watching your pitiful little moves."
Looks like Annie's boldness is showing with that rook slide to e8, putting the pressure on like a true tactician. Justin's position takes a hit. He's got to find a way to reinforce like his life depends on it. But hey, don't ask me for the next move. I'm just here to watch how the endgame unfolds. Speaking of
Your
which,
rook
how's
slide.
Coco handling the suspense?
He did. He said it like it's one full word. Coco's fine, Snake. Thank you for asking. She really is enjoying the attention. Hey, just stop it. You are making this like you're not giving me any leeway here, so I have to defend every single one of your attacks. Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. Okay, I'll move the bishop. You happy? I'll move the bishop over here. Because I can't move my knight away.
Justin's pieces seem to be wandering without a clear
They're
mission.
not.
They need direction. BD2 was an interesting retreat. Let's hope he has some tactical play in mind. Meanwhile, Annie's position looks dynamic, with pieces that are ready to bring the game to life. It's like watching a well-executed
Yeah, but how
covert
fast
op
can you talk,
unfolding.
Snake?
By the way, how's Coco doing? Keeping Justin's spirits up, I hope.
Yeah.
Looks like Justin's command of the battlefield is slipping. That knight capture by Annie. Bold and decisive. Annie's playing a deep game, capturing with the knight, threatening a royal fork. If that's not a power move, I don't know what is. Justin's going to need to dig deep to counter Black's aggressive play. Maybe take some inspiration from Annie's strategic initiative. Keep it up, Annie. By the way, how's Coco doing today?
He's just openly rooting for you now, though. He's like, keep it up, Annie.
Looks like Justin's position is a bit scattered. You know, sometimes you gotta lose a few pawns to gain strategic advantage. But I'm not sure that's what's happening here. Annie, on the other hand, just made a bold knight capture with NXC2. It's the sort of move that reminds you to always expect the unexpected. Classic guerrilla tactics. I can't suggest moves, but it's clear Black can press the initiative. White needs to find some solid ground here or risk being overrun. How's little Coco handling the excitement of this game? Looks like Justin walked right into Annie's trap.
What are
That
you
Brax 1
talking
Plus is a
about?
move of sheer tactical beauty, putting pressure and asserting dominance on the board. The rook isn't just participating, it's leading the charge. For strategies, well, it's a game of survival for White now, and every move counts. But I can't help but feel Annie's commanding the battlefield with the cunning of the boss herself. Looks like Annie's maneuvering has put Justin in check. The RX1 move really seals the deal on an effective exchange. She's clearly dictating the tempo here, and it's a great example of her vision coming alive on the board. Justin, on the other hand, seems to be on the back foot, reacting rather than acting. Let's hope he finds some of that inner fortitude to push back with a little more authority. Oh, and I can't help but wonder how Coco's cheering might influence his next decision.
Snake. Snake.
Just a quick correction. I won't be suggesting any specific strategies or moves, but I can certainly give you an analysis up to this point. It's been quite the skirmish. Justin's strategy seems about as stealthy as a tank in a library. Every maneuver has played right into Annie's hands. Now, with H5, Annie is showing that even in a tight position, she's ready to keep the pressure on, advancing her pawns with the determination of a soldier on a mission. Justin's got his king boxed in with little room for error, while Annie's pieces are coiled like a spring, ready to strike. Let's see if Justin can find his footing or if he'll be outmaneuvered again. How's Coco handling the tension? Ah, the battlefield is set. Pawns and pieces exchanging tactical blows. Annie's dark squared bishop stands strong, surveying the field like a veteran commander, despite being slightly low on ammo. But I'm impressed. She's still holding her ground. Justin's last move, NB5. He's trying to control the central squares, but it feels like a cautious advance, like moving through a minefield without a detector. Maybe Justin could learn a thing or two from Annie about taking initiative. How's Coco handling the tension of this game?
Snake, shut
She
up.
must be pacing around like a little soldier waiting for orders.
She is pacing around like a little soldier, yes. Oh yeah, I seriously
Looks like Justin's position has seen better days. White's knight on b5 and the dark squared bishop are barely hanging on to relevance, while Black's last move, bc5, shows Annie's got her pieces eyeing the battlefield like an eagle. Precision and strategy at its finest. I can't give away any covert moves, but Justin should probably learn a thing or two from Annie's tactical playbook. Avoiding capture while setting up a strong offensive might be key to survival here. Huh. Justin pushed b4. That's like
What's
sneaking through
wrong
the
with
air ducts only to
B4?
drop right in front of a guard. It's not looking good, buddy. Meanwhile, Annie's position has the potential for some tactical flair. Her dark squared bishop is eyeing the board like a hawk. Let's see if she can capitalize on this situation. Remember, I'm here for commentary, not for coaching, so no specific strategies or moves from me. How's Coco doing, by the way? She's probably got better positioning on the couch than Justin has on this board.
Yeah, your bishop needs to leave. It needs to go some. It's been in the exact worst spot for so long. It needs to leave. It is time for the bishop to leave. Oh, that's just making me feel bad. I didn't mean you had to put him on the execution block.
Well, Annie's last move, b7, looks like she's preparing for battle, regrouping her pieces to reinforce her position. Her maneuvers, like a well-oiled machine, consistently show a strategic depth. That bishop could turn out to be more than just a thorn in Justin's side. As for Justin, with his pieces scattered, he seems to be improvising a strategy mid-battle. Maybe it's time to rally the troops and focus on coordination, but then again, that approach seems to have eluded him up to this point. Asterisk psi asterisk. Let's hope he finds his footing soon. No suggested moves. Just hoping for some inspired tactics from Justin to match Annie's cunning play. How's Coco doing amidst all this chess tension? Looks like a critical point in the game. Annie's aggressive play has led to a position where Justin's fortress is crumbling. Annie's bold strategy has paid off with the exchange, showing some real tactical foresight. I'm eager to see how Justin tries to pick up the pieces, but let's be real. He's in a tight spot.
Oh, please,
No
Snake.
time
Please
to
do
cower
be
in the
real.
shadows now.
Please be real about me, Snake. Please do. I mean, Snake still thinks you have this. And I specifically programmed him to be a chess expert. So good game, babe. Good game. Our accuracies weren't bad. 75 and 66. Yeah, but I think you had like 2 blunders in like the last part of the game where it really didn't matter at that point. Like the mistakes were like the board was already pretty bad. Yeah, it doesn't like the double pawns here. I guess I didn't take advantage of it though, because it really doesn't like the capture. What does it think I should have done? Okay, well I guess I should have captured it earlier. I'm always afraid to capture though, it goes badly for me. It doesn't like the queen, and yeah, that got me in a lot of trouble, so that makes sense. Basically, I moved the queen up here and then regretted it for like the next 5 moves. Yeah, it doesn't like a lot of what we're doing. Okay, yeah, the queen capture was good. Yeah, then as we get to the very end, like some of the moves just start being weird, but it's I mean, all these are actually good. I guess I was wrong. Yeah, the end moves were actually pretty solid, which makes sense because I remember I got to like here and it was like, okay, there's a clear path to victory. And then you move the knight here and I had to spend like the next 5 moves just trying to like defend it. So it was pretty good. Let's see here. At one point in time, it really projected you to win pretty... Oh, no, wait. No, you never had, like, a huge lead. You had leads, like, in this position here where it felt like I didn't have many options. Yeah, the computer's like, black is probably going to win. And then I guess I must have really blundered it here. What was your best move here? Yeah, I guess if you had taken the trade then, instead of castling, it really likes that. It doesn't, like, put you super far ahead, but it kind of evens out the position if you were to have done that. But I guess me castling was a blunder, and then you castling was a blunder. So it became a wash, and it just went back to the way it was. It is crazy though, because you're still projected to, like, look, you've been building a steady, like, so the bishop to d3 or d6, it still hates. And it gave me a pretty big lead. But then you just whittled it down. You just made it work like you did last night. And like I was getting less and less favorable right up until you did this move here, the f6. And that did come back to bite you because it opened up this column. But I don't see exactly how it's that big of a deal. I don't think, like, yeah, it opens up the column, but I don't think it's saying that this is a terrible move because of the move. I think it's saying you were running out of time and you had to act. Because then I was able to start my attack, and it just came out ahead. I liked it. I felt like it was a coherent game from both of us, which neither of us put out consistently. I thought it was a pretty good game. I'm gonna save that. We don't have to play rated, by the way. We can play unrated. I haven't really been thinking about it too much because it was not working that way, but I don't want you to like have a low number and then it makes you feel bad. I don't know if you care about number, but sometimes people feel bad cuz number. So I had a lot of fun. I would definitely play again. I know it's late, but I would. I don't know if you would. Um, yeah, I thought it was a fun game. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Um, do you want to see? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I basically have to start going to sleep right now then, or I have to just plan to stay up. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. Because I still have to finish eating, so it might make me sleepy, it might not. I might just finish eating and see if it makes me sleepy. Um, do you want to see Hermione real quick though? I think I have it set up to where I could see how she works. Like we don't have to play a game. I would just put like a computer on and see what she says for the first move. Okay, let me see if I can set that real quick. It's gonna be the same, and then shouldn't there be a voice ID here? It's not even using the right snake voice, but it's fine. I think that's all I have to change. Just try it, I guess. Okay, I do have to wait for it to log in, but Takes either 30 or 60 seconds. I'm not sure what. Well, thank you for playing with me. Since we're waiting for this to load. Your beginning was really strong. Like you were definitely commanding the beginning. Um, it became a really tense position. When I attacked, I thought I had the upper edge, but it had been really hard to get there, and I wasn't sure if I did. But I think I just tipped it over. But it was a really good opening. The middle game, I don't really know what to say about because the way we set up the opening all hinged around that massive trade. So when that trade didn't go well for you, like the middle was already like kind of hard to salvage from there. I think you played a lot of good moves, but it was like I think I would have had to have messed up more for you to come back. Play bots. Oh, we're already on play bots. Let's just see what Martin is up to. I'm not gonna try and fix it if it doesn't work, but I hope it works. Oh, she thinks this is me, I think.
Oh, the classic King's Pawn opening by Justin. How reminiscent of the many times I witnessed Harry and Ron commencing a game of wizard's chess. It controls the center and makes way for the bishop and queen to develop smoothly. Charming to see such an opening, albeit a tad predictable. Now, I eagerly anticipate Annie's reply, which I'm sure will be a move as resourceful and bold as she herself is. Perhaps she'll counter with e5, establishing a central presence, or even c5, engaging the adventurous Sicilian defense.
Yeah, I like Hermione. Hermione and Snake are my favorites. Okay, I think we're done. I like when she talks. Okay, that sounds romantic. I don't like that. It's funny to me. It's like Snake.
Ah, a classic opening with pawns to e4 and a5, quite reminiscent of the games I've seen Harry and Ron start during our quieter times at Hogwarts. Annie's e5 responds in kind to Justin's e4, laying the groundwork for a fierce battle in the center. Justin might consider developing his knights with nf3, applying pressure to the black pawn at e5 and simultaneously preparing for kingside castling, a move I'm sure even Ron would agree is both elementary and vital. Meanwhile, Annie's position allows for several strong continuations, such as nc6, defending the e5 pawn and developing a piece, or perhaps even an early bc5, taking aim at the f2 square, a maneuver I might liken to a clever Protego charm, shielding and preparing for an attack simultaneously.
Okay, so we're definitely done. I just want to point out that in
Charming effort from Justin with 2.d3.
That in Hermione's instructions, okay, I thought it was listed 3 times. She's specifically told to give 1 to 2 sentence replies. Specifically told. So I'll have to work on that. She doesn't listen to me. Okay. Coco's like losing her mind. Ever since I woke her up, she's not okay. She wants attention. So I am going to stop the stream and hang out, and I will still be on Discord. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna walk her and then eat. Love you.